And Terry and Barry are going to focus on that now. Zeb Taylor, Gareth Ellis, Elliot Whitehead, Mark Minicello, ever present this season for Hull FC. Some formidable performers in that particular part of the field, Terry.
Well, I think that Zeb Taylor, he's the leader, he's the enforcer. He started all 17 games this season for the Dragons. He's a player that leads by example. He really does inspire his teammates. And he's been the standout figure. He's scored 7 tries in the last 4 Super League games, and he's tipped to be up there come the end of the year for the big prestigious award, which is the Steve Prescott Man of Steel. So he's a player to watch, and there's going to be some very good clashes in this game, but I think that man is going to lead the charge for the Dragons today.
Meanwhile, for Hull FC, well, one of their strengths is that second row, Minicello and Gareth Ellis, who's in great form.
Well, I want to give you some of the numbers of Gareth Ellis. He's played over 330 Super League games. He's obviously got bags of experience, and when he's on his game, whether he's on the left or the right edge, he's renowned for strong, hard-hitting defence, but gets over for his first try of the season at Magic Weekend against the rivals Hull KR. So a big game, big expectations of those back three from both teams.
And Hull FC just taking the field. Catalan would normally fancy their chances at home to Hull, who've lost on each of their last 4 Super League visits. But as mentioned at the very start, Hull are in great shape at the moment to really turn their season round. They've got 8 wins from their last 10 in League and Cup. Their last 8 Super League games have brought 6 wins. And they've got players in form. OK, Tom Lynham hasn't made the trip, but Fatuli Talanoa, who missed the win at Widner's, got a hat-trick against Hull Kingston Rovers at the Magic Weekend. Setamata Sarr has come back. They've also had that little bit extra, having played Widner's over a week ago. They've got that little bit extra time to be freshened up. It is a long trip. It's warm over there, but not too warm. Hull have got a real chance here.
They had their fancy the chances coming down to the south of France, and I think Lee Radford's really silenced his critics, hasn't he? You look at the performance, you look at the way that they performed when they played against Widnes. That man leading by example, Gareth Ellis. In recent years, when they were 12 points behind a team, they could have folded, but they didn't do that at Widnes, who've got a good home record. They really stuck to the challenge, and they need the likes of Remy Casti to lead from the front, because there's going to be some big battles, and I think that this game, Bill, will be won in the middle of the park.
As we saw from the fixtures early on, Ben Taylor, the referee, as we saw, there's some crucial games because you've got sides alongside each other. Huddersfield, Warrington, one of them, playing each other. Wakefield, Salford, for that matter. And here you've got Catalan against Hull FC, 8th v 7th in the Super League table. It's important for Hull to get off to a good start. They didn't against the Widnes Vikings. They got away with it on that occasion and came back. But they can't afford to do that against the Catalan Dragons in Perpignan. Barry, Terry here with me, Stuart Cummins as well to put his
ball is somewhere around that area. He then looks and glances at who's coming to hit him, and you say he's had a shaky start to the game. I think he's had a shaky 2015. His confidence looks to be brittle at best, but Morgan Escaré with the ball in hand is as good as any player in Broken Field.
Oh, here he goes already. Wait there.
So Hull FC, great position for them, just 10 metres out as Leon Price feeds this scrum. First good attacking platform for them, and Watts takes the first tackle for them. Hull's top offloader not able to get that one away. But here's Westerman now, dumped to the ground. Henderson with the tackle.
Hold the line, Morgan! Good lad.
Short ball from Sneed, finds Kurt Yeaman. Danny Houghton.
Hold the line, Morgan!
Houghton serves it up. Here is Leon Price now. Price, Rankin, Setamata Sarr. He's tackled just short. 4 tackles just gone. Hull FC probing early on at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, looking for the first points of the game. Short pass from Westerman. Oh, great offload from Watts. And it's opened things up now for Minicello. Minicello still going. He is still going, Mark Minicello. He is just short of the try line eventually when Scott Giroux manages to stop him. Houghton stabs a little grubber kick in, and Escaré, well, he won't get out of that. Surely he can't. Tried his best.
No, I thought you both going for the ball.
Good stuff from Hull FC. Plenty of things going on, and it's a little bit of Broken Field stuff. Joe Westerman's got wonderful skill for a big man. You talked about the strike that they've got on the edge with Minicello and Ellis. Well, he's all-class Joe Westerman. Got a good passing game, a good offloading game. Danny Houghton at the back of the play the ball, dinks it into the in goal, follows his own kick, buys his chasers a little bit of time, and I think it's Steve Michaels who eventually effects the tackle. Building pressure nicely at Hull FC.
Make sure you stay behind, guys.
It's the first goal line dropout of the game. And it's from the boot of Scott Giroux, and then Price for Mickey Payer, and he builds up a head of steam before he runs into the tackling of Jason Bateri and others for the Catalan Dragons. But Hull cheered on by fantastic backing in Perpignan. Apparently it's the biggest travelling support of the season for a visiting team, and they're seeing their side on the attack at the moment. And Catalan defending desperately. Early doors here at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. And it's with Westerman now. Quick hands over the top, and Fatuli Talanoa will surely prove too strong. No, they just managed to stop him. Another strong man opposite him in Fouad Yaha, the youngster, did well there. The pass made Sneed stretch, and not a good kick from Mark Sneed, and Julien Bousquet collects.
I agree with you, Bill. That was a poor kick. There was nobody that was following up there for the sticks. There wasn't enough weight on it to get it in goal, so quite an easy kick to field, really.
And what a big effort from the Hull FC fans. I know that clubs see that as a real badge of honour to have the most numbers over there, so well done the travelling followers and fans of Hull FC.
Giroux, is he looking for a 40-20? Well, he's got good distance on it. That's going to roll all the way. And they'll bring it back to the 20. Or did it?
Interesting decision there. I think Ben Thaler's blown the whistle too early, because he actually picked the ball up when it was stationary in the field of play, so that should have been him taking the ball dead. So it should have been a goal line dropout instead of a 20-metre restart.
Well, it did seem a bit premature, that whistle from the referee Ben Thaler. But Hull won't be complaining. Leon Price plays the ball. Houghton, here is Liam Watts, and Watts was looking, he just got that arm free, almost got the pass away. Houghton, the great pass for Westerman. Westerman motoring up the middle, gets the ball away, and Rankin is in support. And Jordan Rankin gets the first try of the game. It was Joe Westerman with the break, though, who really was the architect of that. And Hull have been threatening that already in this game. And Jordan Rankin, fourth try of the season for him.
Well, we've been talking about the strike on the edges, but it's right back up the guts. Fantastic line from Joe Westerman, who's seconds and inches before he touches the floor, offloads it to the fullback, who's on the left side. He gives him a call, he says, I'm with you. Has enough agility to pick up the ball, and it's a wonderful start from Hull FC.
That was a good line, wasn't it, from Joe Westerman? And then for Rankin to take that ball in, because the ball was dipping, but he managed to supply the try, the opening try for all those travelling Hull FC fans. It's been a big start, it's been a powerful display from Hull FC in the opening 11 minutes, Bill.
It has. Catalan really haven't had a look in so far. 11.5 minutes gone in Perpignan, and it's Old Faithful that is being sung by the hundreds of Hull FC supporters who've made the journey. And Jordan Rankin, the try scorer who missed the win at Widnes, salutes those fans. Now Mark Sneed goes through his routine, looking for kick success 35 of the season. And it's on target, and Hull lead by 6 points to 0, and they've earned that. They have been strong.
Well, when Joe Westerman hits a line like this, he wants some of his pivots, he wants his hooker, he wants his fullback to push up in support, because you can see it's a big part of Hull FC's game when Liam Watts trying to get the ball away, trying to offload it in the previous tackle, and then Joe Westerman, because he wins collision, he gets down, plays the ball really quick. That presents the opportunity for Joe Westerman behind the ruck.
Tez, that was a great replay. You see all the players all go up to Joe Weston, and they know he created that. And it's a tough carry, it needs to be a strong carry, strong hard line, and he gets his rewards.
Minicello, that ball stolen off him. Remy Casti, the culprit, says referee Ben Thaler.
Well, you've got to make sure you go in strong on Minicello. There's only Callum Watkins that made more tackle busts than that man in Super League this season. So, formidable carrying the ball forward, very good footwork. So you've got to go in strong, good body contact.
The penalty takes Hull FC up to the halfway line. There's Mickey Player now going back to the NRL next year with Newcastle. There'll be a lot of passengers on planes to Australia next year. One or two of them from the Catalan Dragons. That's a good kick, and Fouad Yaha has to regather it, turns, and there's a posse of Hull players awaiting him.
And there's a game plan in there as well, Bill. Fouad Yaha had to show good reactions, get on his bike, get back, get the ball. There were 3 Hull FC defenders ready to try and force his hand.
Well, he's still pretty green, is Fouad Yaha, just 18 years of age. He's in the side because of the injury to Vincent Dupont, and he's done all right.
He's been very good, hasn't he? Whenever we've seen him, whenever we've covered these games, he's the youngest French player to play in Super League. And you look at him and he's an absolute man mountain.
Here's Zebtea.
Wait, go.
Ever present. And a presence as well for the Catalan Dragons is Zeb. That's another kick that's going to go too far. No doubt about that one this time.
We've had about 4 or 5 go over the dead ball line, and maybe that's something to try and slow the pace of the game down a little bit. I think Scott Janot knows exactly where he's putting that ball, and the previous penalty when Remy Casti was stuck in the ruck too much, I think that again is an indicator of how big and strong this middle unit is for Hull FC. The Dragons having the Devils' own job to try and control them, slow the ball down, so players like Yeaman don't get any time and space.
Yeaman plays the ball. Good defence that time on Westerman, stopping his progress early so he couldn't do any more damage. Little dummy from Price. Catalan almost bought it, but Thomas Bosch made the tackle. Kick stabbed ahead, could come up for Hull. Instead it's going to come up for Fouad Yaha. Well, what about that from the young winger? Brilliant, that's called improvisation, isn't it? Oh dear, and he's left the boot in there.
Talanoa on the floor. I believe that was accidental. Yeah. He's spinning and pirouetting all around the place, but he needed to be courageous when that ball went through. Hope there's no damage to Talanoa. Thankfully, it was just on the side of his head.
I don't think there's any foul play in this. I mean, he's just trying to get over the top. I mean, it does look bad there, but I don't believe there's any intent in that at all.
No, he's in the air, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the Hull players are actually complaining about the kick that he made, whether he regathered. Because there was an obstruction by Ian Henderson, who stopped him getting the Hull player getting to the tackle.
Well, luckily these days, a lot of the players wear studded boots, moulded studs, blades. Back in the old days when they were thick metal studs, that could have been a very different story.
Back on.
But it was quite a return from Fouad Yaha. I don't think he knew a lot about it initially. He was sort of just winging it, wasn't he?
And, you know, as you're talking about his physicality and how big and strong he is, I've worked with him at close quarters. It's not just the physical side of the game you need to get used to. It's the mental side of the game, the noise and the atmosphere of the crowd.
Oh, Casti with a good step, and Casti has support from Bosch, and Bosch will go under the posts. And this, with the kick to come, should bring the Catalan Dragons level, but it was Remy Casti who created that. The prop forward, a dream team member in 2012, in the middle of the picture there, and this is what he did.
Well, that's incredible, that, isn't it? You've got an overchase of Hull FC, and then when Remy Casti spots that, he just steps off his left foot. So that's 2 tries in this game. Joe Westerman set the first one up, and Remy Casti set that up. This is brilliant. Have a little look. Sees the overchase from Joe Westerman. He's going too quick to change direction, and as soon as he steps off his left, Thomas Bosch is pushing up in support. That's fabulous play, isn't it, from the French international prop forward?
and to be running at that pace, find such an accurate pass to a supporting player. And it's an underestimated skill, that last one there from Remy Casti. He has to deliver the pass right on the button. Thomas Bosch doesn't change pace. Great skill from both players.
A great example of the skill on display regularly in Super League, and not just from flashy three-quarters, but from prop forwards as well.
Yeah, and that's against, as I said, there's only two sides with a better defensive record. They work very hard for each other, so to crack Hull FC's defence like Remy Casti did, that's big plaudits.
And Giroud, bang in front of the posts, should bring the scores level. Although we were thinking that when he hit the post.
Well, it's the outward line from Remy Casti, the pick-up from dummy half of Ian Henderson that has Joe Westerman chasing a little bit too hard. Tez talked about an overworker, an overchaser, and he just can't change directions, and don't the home fans love it?
Laurent Fresneau makes a note up there. Michael Monaghan alongside him. Had a busy week and tough times at the Catalan Dragons at the moment because of a bit of upheaval. Benjamin Garcia on his way, Elliot Whitehead going, Matthias Palla signing for League, Gadwin Springer going to the Castleford Tigers. There's 4 players moving on, and they've got some work to do in recruiting, haven't they?
Recruiting is important, but I believe more important than recruitment is retention. Making sure you keep your best players, keeping them happy whenever you get players coming in from an outside organisation, making sure they fit in with what you've already got.
Well, young Garcia will definitely, I mean, Elliot Whitehead will be a loss, but Benjamin Garcia, we've seen some great potential from him this season. Zebtea just does a little pirouette, leisurely pass, finds Scott Giroud, finds Ben Pomeroy, and he trips across the field. That was high from Mickey Paya on Ian Henderson.
It possibly looked a bit worse than what it was. I think Mickey Paya is only ever looking at Ian Henderson. He collects him, catches him as soon as he gets the ball. Stuart?
Well, it's the initial strike around the head, I think. That's what's caused the problem. So probably from the referee's angle, he's got a bit of the chin.
Well, it's a penalty for the Catalan Dragons, and they quickly put it to good use, and Zebtea, again, managing to cause problems, gets the pass away. And Catalan with Busquets, and Busquets, though, has lost the ball. He was trying to offload, not in the same class as Zebtea, and Hull are able to bring it away.
Well, Bill, I think that's justice, because I don't think that was a penalty, and now...
Yeah, I agree.
And now Catalan, they're the ones who've given the penalty away for stripping the ball on Joel Westerman, but the first initial contact from Mickey Paya, I don't believe that it was a high shot and deserved the penalty. So now Hull FC get the ball back by a bit of metres with this kick from... Oof, lucky them with Mark Sneed.
Here's the offload. He hasn't got enough grip on the ball. He's got it rolling across his forearm, and when the defender from Hull drags him back, the ball pops back, but good indicators of attitude for Hull FC. Something went against them. It was a 50-50 call. Straight onto defence, and they earned themselves the ball back.
Shoulder. Move!
Neiman tackled by Remy Casti. Strong tackle it was. Here is Minicello again. He's got great speed off the mark. He really does get up ahead of steam very quickly.
And because he's a danger man, he commits defenders, which leaves spaces elsewhere.
Price. Oh,
That was
one dummy. And it's back to 6, says the referee. There's a Catalan hand in there.
And if anyone knows a weakness in this Catalan line, it's going to be Leon Price. He'll know who to run at, who's going to be a late retreater, who gets tired in what part of the games. And there could be the spot plays as this game goes on.
Ellis.
That's 2. Move, Julian!
In great form at the moment, Gareth Ellis. He's tackled about 5 metres out. Houghton, Mickey Paya sells the dummy, then gets the pass away to Chris Green. Danny Houghton now. Houghton change of direction, back to Ellis. Ellis trying to put the footwork on them. Houghton, Catalan standing firm, and then Danny Houghton loses it, and that's a good bit of defending from the Catalan Dragons. And the referee will bring them back
Well, Bill, you could hear all the Hull FC players saying he's behind you as Danny Houghton was offering that ball.
Yep.
Here's the
Scrummed
contact.
out, bare ball. It's a
Danny
one-on-one steal
Houghton
by
gets hit
Catalan. Not
from
a
Morgan
zero,
Escray,
then
and it's
your
a
guys
strip.
have knocked on.
You agree, Stuart?
He's got a one-on-one tackle.
Well, even wait a minute, I
The
didn't think it
referee's
was a
ruled
knock-on
that
by
it's a
them after
one-on-one
it's went to
tackle.
ground.
The ball's gone backwards, so it's play on from that, and Catalan knocked the ball on, so it's a whole feed at the scrum. And there's the ball,
Yeah, he has
it
a
clearly
stolen
goes
backwards.
backwards,
Well
so
done,
it's
Tom,
play
good
on
lad.
from there,
Stolen.
and then it's
Good call, Tom.
comes from there. There's a knock-on.
It was good tackle from Gareth Ellis.
Yeah.
Again, good attitude. Something's gone against you. What do I need to do next?
Calm it down. Right there, Leon.
So
Heads in,
heading
Morgan.
feed to Hull
Out.
FC after all that. Once more in a good position. Chris Green
One move, Ian! Ian!
tackled
Leon.
by Busquet, and
Shoulder.
that looked
Two.
high for a moment. Jason
Goal
Materi
line. Morgan, down the line. Go.
on Steve Michaels. Good footwork by Sneed, and then Danny Houghton, and Houghton takes him on himself.
Shoot, Ian.
Closer, edging closer to those Hull FC posts. Here is Price. Price for Mickey Payer. Payer trying to bump off the first challenge, but
Move, Seb.
Busquet is there to make the tackle. So too Zeb Taylor and Bosk. Price.
Five, move.
Jordan Thompson is tackled about 10 minutes. They've lost ground of Hull FC, and it's on the last. And Sneed, little chip kick to the corner, and the ball is collected by Damien Cardas. Under pressure, the winger did well there.
That was well taken, that, because Michaels was all over him. And it's very difficult. He caught that ball. It was coming from over his shoulder. A perfectly weighted kick yet again from Mark Sneed. But he was up to that challenge then, was Cardas.
Really tight game this, as you'd expect from these sides. Neck and neck in the top 8. You've got Catalan in 8th against Hull in 7th. Catalan looking to go above the Dragons. It's so tight in that top 8 because defeat here, and one of these sides is under pressure then from those other ones who are looking to get into the top 8, the likes of Widnes and Hull Kingston Rovers.
And do you know what, Bill? Depending on results, like Hull FC have still got a game in hand as well, haven't they? So if they win here, they win the game in hand, all of a sudden they could be up there in 4th or 5th spot.
Well, look what the Castleford Tigers have achieved. Up to 4th at the moment. Games to come, of course, for their rivals.
Go hold the men! Jordan, don't hold the men!
The Catalan supporters making their voices heard, really for the first time this evening in Perpignan. It's been the Hull fans who've had plenty to be jubilant about. They've enjoyed their day in Perpignan, no doubt. The sun has been shining.
Three, move and go!
The team is travelling with confidence, and they're level pegging. Only Leeds have won in Perpignan this season. Salford forced a 40-all draw in a bizarre game. The likes of St Helens and Wigan have come unstuck at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. That ball goes backwards, says the referee. Hull go backwards.
Well, they're quick to most breakdowns, aren't they, Castle? And they really are hunting in defence. Right across the board.
It's on the last, so the kick upfield is not the best. And Escaré, well, he gathers that one.
It was like it was kicked to Escaré. Jumps out from dummy half and just blindly kicks it. Morgan Escaré says thank you very much.
Here's Ben Pomeroy, been out of the side for a while. Pomeroy came back against Warrington last week, having missed the previous 8. So while they've lost some players, at least they've got the former Cronulla man back, which is a boost for them, because he's a big physical presence as well, Pomeroy. Good scoot, and Zeb Taylor takes the pass, but it was forward, says the referee, with the aid of his touch judge. Catalan looking credulous.
Well, they've got some danger in Catalan. I think it's Policia. Yep. As soon as there's a quick play, the ball, he targets the tight defender at the ruck, the air defender with Zeb Taylor pushing up in support. You can see just having a little check, and he comes tight. But yeah,
I think it is forward, but it's
decision, isn't it?
Well, I disagree. I think that ball clearly comes out of his hands backwards. He might drift forward because he's tackled almost immediately, but coming out of the hands, that ball's gone backwards.
When I first watched it on the first replay, I felt it was forward, but it was off the rolling ruck, off the quick play of the ball. Catalan want to get anything out of this game, they have to play the ball quicker than they have been doing in the first 25 minutes.
We can't afford to get frustrated, Catalan Dragons, because it tends to be costly, as Laurent Freysinou found out this week when he picked up another fine. I think that's his second of the season.
Well, most teams do have it in them when they make a mistake. They normally double that up and give a penalty away, and that's probably one of the things that Catalan have been guilty of over the years. But this year, I must say that they have been more composed. They've played with that controlled head. But they need to make sure that they keep doing that for the full 80 minutes.
Over here, boys. Wait, here, boys. Wait, boys. Wait. Go.
Some of the initial pace has gone out of the game, really. It is a warm evening. But it's Paliacina playing the ball. And Sneed hoists the ball. Escaré, well, he was wobbly under the first one. This time, he's underneath it well.
Yeah, no problem with that. And Leon Price pulling out of that tackle, so he didn't give a penalty away.
Pomeroy, good run from the centre. Catalan looking to make progress quickly, not able to do so. Three tackles gone. And they're in the middle of the field now. And it's with Louis Anderson. Former teammate Leon Price involved with the tackle, and Seta Matasara, once a Dragon as well. He made 69 appearances for the club. Oh, and Fouad Yaha couldn't take that pass, and it sails into touch.
I think that was a desperate pass as well. I was watching all the players in the Dragon shirts on that set of six. They were bunched together, they were walking around, no energy, and Fouad Yaha, he has that. There's a big charge, a big run from Ben Pomeroy. He's a big thing in the centre. And Paliacina, of course, he's come on and joined the fray for the black and whites.
That pass was definitely on then. As Yaha goes to catch that, he has a little look up because he sees space in front of him. When he looks up, he takes the focus of catching that ball.
Fouad Yaha, we've spoken about his pedigree before. His uncle Baghdad played for PSG right at the dawn of Super League. Another uncle played in the French Elite Championship, so he's learnt well. But he took his eye off the ball then. Jordan Thompson struggling to get to his feet. And Hull level here, 6 points apiece, nearly half an hour gone in. It's rattled past, this game has. Here's Price. Richard Whiting on the field. Lee Radford ringing the changes for his side. Thompson. And then Sneed. Short ball from Sneed, finds Minicello, and Minicello, great offload from him. But Hull a little bit static just for a moment there. They'd outnumbered their opponents, but couldn't react quickly enough.
There was a ball strip here from Scott Giroux and Mark Sneed. If you look across the Hull FC side, all the forwards in particular got very good footwork at the line. They promote the ball, they hold it. You can see it's a little challenge of the halves here.
No, it doesn't.
And just because the arms are there, the arms are around the ball, that's why the penalty's been given.
Well, I think the ball comes out, so the referee's got to give it one way or the other. He's seen Scott Giroux's hands on the ball at the end, and that's why it's gone that way.
Not getting on very well with Ben Thaler at the moment. He was the reason for Laurent Freysinou's ire at the Magic Weekend, I think, wasn't he, Stuart?
I think Laurent was talking about a couple of injuries that his players received, where one of his players a couple of weeks earlier had ended up with a 4-match ban, so I think his questions are around that. But yes, Ben was in charge of that game at the Magic Weekend.
Well done, Cyril, good call.
So they put him in charge of this one 2 weeks later.
I think he's done about 5 games down at Catalan, so I think he knows the local area pretty well.
Well, Mark Sneed is just going to take advantage of an opportunity to pop 2 points over, because the way things look, this could shape up to be a very close game. Obviously, as you can see from the table, there's not a lot to choose between these two.
And points will be at a premium for both teams. Defences look very strong. I'm sure Lee Radford and his coaching staff already plotting what they're going to give the Hull FC team at half-time, but there doesn't look too many holes in the defensive structure of either side, and it could be a piece of individual brilliance that just manages to break the deadlock. But they'll take the 2 points, because there's an old coach of mine used to say those 2 points are worth half a try.
Stop. Then put it back on now.
Well, as I said at the top, Hull don't have a great recent records in Perpignan. They've lost 4, or the last 4, at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. But they're giving a good account of themselves on this occasion so far, and this an opportunity for Mark Sneyd to put them back in front. And he's on target. Looked as though it had possibly was going to whiz across the face of the post, but he's landed that one.
And again, I'm going to agree with you again here, because I do think points are at a premium in this game. You've got Catalan who can score points at home, you've got Hull FC who can defend, but yet they've failed to score points in most games. They're down towards the bottom of the try-scoring charts in Super League. So any points on offer, I'm sure they'll take them.
8 points to 6. Hull FC leads. Big weekend coming up next week. What a game this promises to be now. The Castleford Tigers against St Helens. The Tigers knocked the leaders off last Thursday, Leeds, and now they get a chance to face the new leaders, St Helens. Then on Friday, Hull Kingston Rovers against Warrington Wolves. That's 7:30 on Sky Sports 1 for that one. And more Catalan Dragons action next Saturday at 4:55 on Sky Sports 1. They host the Wakefield Wildcats. Wakefield in action against Salford in round 18. Minicello, quick play the ball from him. Danny Houghton capitalises.
5 movement, Tony!
That's the 5th tackle. And Sneyd. Well, that's the first foot wrong, really, from him.
But it comes about from the pressure and the good defence from Catalan. Obviously, if you stand back and let Mark Sneyd kick the ball, he's going to kick the ball to where he wants it.
He had so many involvements kicking-wise last week. You think that that's just one of those blips in his game.
Nice, put his arm round him. Ben, let him get off, yeah?
Coming up to the half-hour mark.
2.
And
move, Danny!
The black and whites in their change kit, purple and black, just in front.
3. Move!
And looking like a side in form. Hull FC have come a long way since the early days of the season. Well, the early days of the season, they were winning 19-0 at Huddersfield, and the future looked very rosy, but it didn't live up to that, and a real period of examination for them. And there's a bit of examination now as Michaels does well to retrieve that kick.
He does incredibly well. He needs to catch the ball with his body angle, giving him a chance so he doesn't get pushed over into the in goal. Very experienced piece of play there from Michaels.
As I said, he had a big game against Widnes last week. He's covering for Tom Lynham today. Lynham not playing in this one for personal reasons. Of course, has been revealed this week, lined up for a move to the Warrington Wolves next season. A big loss for Hull.
Yeah, he's been in good form, hasn't he? Another big, powerful winger who's got genuine speed, can score tries.
Well, if Tom Lynham wants to know how to play for the club that you're at before you leave, then he needs to look at Payer. Big Mickey Payer, as you've said, Bill, he's going off to Newcastle Knights. He's put in good service, made it public, and he's decided he wants to lead the club in the right manner, as I'm sure Tom Lynham will do when he gets his chance again.
Gigot. I beg your pardon, it's Ben Pomeroy. Wrestling, he's an extra forward, Ben Pomeroy, isn't he? So big and physical. He's also really awkward. There's always bits of him flapping around, isn't there?
Well, that's what helps your big forwards out. When you've got someone like Pomeroy or Yahar who can return the ball, Tom Lynham or Talanoa, it helps you to win them first early tackles. And referee Ben Fail just asking the touch judge what's happened here.
Well, Hull end up with the ball on the floor, so it's a case of when that ball's come out.
Knocked on Catalan ball. One-on-one steal.
I said there's a one-on-one ball steal, but as the ball's come out, Minicello's knocked the ball on, so we've got the knock-on from there.
And I don't believe he's gone to steal the ball as well. He's just looking to get a nice, tight, close clamp, clinch on the ball. It ends up with it in his hands. He can't control it, and knows where the knock-on comes from.
I think that's another call that's gone against him. I didn't see a knock-on there from Minicello.
Well, I think his arm does move against the ball that takes it forward. So I think they've got that one right.
Was that not a loose carry though, Stuart?
Well, no, because his hands actually pushed the ball out. So there's movement towards the ball, so it's got to be classed as a ball steal. It's one-on-one, but he's taking it forward.
Well, play has continued, and Greg Muniz has got the pass away to a stepping Eloy Pelissier, who's wrong-footing his own teammates as well, and almost ending up in touch. Doesn't really appear to have made much forward progress.
He's made 20 metres sideways, Bill.
But now a more direct approach from Louis Anderson does make some yards. Here's Thomas Bosk. Drifting past, finds Zeb Taylor, and they'll have to do their work on Zeb Taylor because he's Super League top try-scoring forward, the Catalan second row. That time they keep him under control. Here is Scott Giroud. Giroud finds Louis Anderson again, and good defence from Chris Green down low. That's the fifth tackle. Giroud stabs a little kick in. It's a good one. Oh, and well watched by Steve Michaels.
But he had to have good composure here, doesn't he, Michaels? You could hear the footsteps behind him.
So I would actually say that he took that ball out then.
Would you?
Yeah, the ball hit him as he was shielding the ball. So that's classed as playing at the ball.
You've got to get your arm up.
Just to improve things still further, Eloy Pelissier is penalised there. There's a hand in. So not a good passage of play for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, they're getting some leg ups, aren't they, in this first half? When they've been down here, and this is where you really want to turn the key, put the pressure on them. The kick from Giroud here, Tony Gigo pushing up.
Ready, guys?
It's gone over the line, hasn't it, when it hits him, Stuart?
The ball's in the air over the line, but it hasn't been grounded, so he's in the air as well, so he's jumped from the field of play. So he's actually taken that ball dead because he's shielding the ball, he's playing at the ball.
Oh, that's been intercepted, and Tony Gigo has snaffled that one. It really was telegraphed, that pass, and Tony Gigo will capitalise. And that's karma, says Stuart Cummins. There possibly is an element of that in that try, his fifth of the season for Tony Gigo.
One thing Tony Gigo can do is he can find the ball. As you say, Bill, it was quite a laboured play. Telegraphed might be a kind way of putting it, but Mark Sneed, who was exceptional last weekend against Hull FC and had a hand in most of the tries, passes the ball. It's a loose pass, and Tony Gigo says, I'll have that.
And this is the danger when you go at the line as a half-back and you're playing, you want somebody to hit short or go out wide and hit an overs line. There's always that play that could come off for the opposition.
4 minutes to go.
And that's a play when the ball player's drifting across the line. He wants one of his support runners just to go on that outward angle, as you see Lauren Frazier talking to his bench. Three very wily operators, and I don't think the angle of the support runners were right for Mark Sneed. And it's easy to say, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I don't think that pass was on. And the result from it was 4, possibly 6 points.
Gigo, as I said, with his fifth try of the season, he's really has returned like a different player for the Catalan Dragons, because he has been around. He's still only 24 years of age, but he's picked some experience up while he's been on his travels, including a little spell with Cronulla in their lower grades. With Willie Tonga injured, he's been a good deputy. Giroud looking to tag 2 more points onto that Gigo try. He does successfully.
Well, he's been good in this game, Mark Sneed. But he'll look back at that and he'll regret throwing that ball, because Tony Gigo has already stood in the attacking line for Hull FC, and there was no way of getting the ball to where he wanted, and that's what happens. You concede a try, you put yourselves under pressure, and Lauren Frazier will be happy with the response from his side.
They've regained the lead, 12-8 the scoreline. Opportunist piece of play, and here is Louis Anderson.
Trended. Stand, Chris!
He actually made his Super League debut 7 years ago against Hull when he was a Warrington Wolves player.
To movement, Danny! Ready, take a wait! Go.
Catalan.
3, move, Sam!
With Biscay. And they get the penalty.
Not you.
Well, that's only
not
Catalan's
you.
second penalty of the game. And it's from the good work of Catalan, trying to play the ball quick. It's Gregory Muniz who forces the hand of the referee.
Well, Catalan looking to put a bit of distance between themselves and their visitors in the final few minutes of this first half, and that's a great run. I think it's Chico again. Benjamin Garcia, beg his pardon, off the bench and straight into the action, and possibly setting up a try here for Eloy Pellissier, but he is denied. Good defence from Richard Whiting. They will miss Benjamin Garcia when he goes to play in the NRL. Already he's shown what a great talent he could be. Giroud.
4, move, Sam!
Setamata Sarr with the tackle.
Scott, get off him!
Trying all the tricks, Giroud. Lost a little bit of momentum. Hull really do need to hold firm here. They can't really afford to allow Hull to claim any more points. There was a ball steal there.
Kurt Yeaman.
Kurt Yeaman, says the referee, Ben Thaler, and
time's off.
Yeaman looks, what, me?
Well, trying to go in strong and trying to go in hard on Elliot Whitehead, but
Yeaman's offside as
we
well.
haven't seen too much from Elliot Whitehead.
No, we haven't, have we?
No, the action seems to be in the middle channel and over towards Catalan's right.
Oh, and they are through, and it's Greg Muniz who will take full advantage of that penalty. And Gregory Muniz, co-captain of this Catalan Dragon side, gets his first try of the campaign. And Hull just looking a little bit fatigued as this first half comes to an end in very steamy Perpignan, and the Catalan Dragons have turned the heat up in the closing minutes of this first half.
Well, a tap, and you can just have a little look at the run from Muniz. He buys a bit of time. Louis Anderson goes at the line, and when Louis Anderson goes at the line, he attracts a couple of defenders who take their eyes off that man, Muniz, and he had to be brave because there was a couple of Hull FC players straight in front of him. But yeah, Hull FC melting as the back end of this first half.
Does it look to you as though maybe some of the intensity has dropped off? Todd Carney making his way down from the stand.
I think Hull FC were probably guilty of thinking, overthinking, anticipating what was going to go on, but it was the simple pass, simple tip-on pass. Everybody expecting the wide, expansive shift play from the Dragons.
Time off now.
Well, the mood has changed a bit in Perpignan, and Catalan are going to end the first 40 minutes in the ascendancy. Back-to-back tries, well, tries swiftly following each other, put it that way. This was the Muniz one.
It's Chris Green. You just see him rock back on his heels, sat in the armchair, thinking, I'm going to have to push on when the ball goes around the back, and the Dragons full value.
Yeah, good turnaround from the Catalan Dragons. Great start from Hull FC, but Catalan at the break lead by 18 points to 8. It's been a good first half for them, ultimately, but Hull will look back on the chances they had and on the way they've allowed the Catalan Dragons to come back into this game.
Ladbrokes.